Good morning, everyone. Once again, this is Black Forest coming in with another market analysis video, currency breakdown. This morning, we're going to be looking at the AUDUSD, which is the Aussie USD. The AUD is also known as the Aussie Australian dollar. But before we get started to break down this currency and break down this forex pair, we have to state this video is for educational advice. This is for educational purposes. This is not financial advice, okay? This video is for educational purposes. This is not financial advice, okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and break down this currency pair in this chart because we all know why you guys are here. You guys are here to find good, credible Forex content that can help improve your ability as a trader and help put a little bit of extra money in your pocket. Remember, we will do the work for you. All you got to do is just come watch the videos and you'll know everything that's going on with each respective currency and what's going on in the chart and how to trade accordingly. Okay? So, with that being said, let's go ahead and break down what's happening. Now, before we get into the technical analysis, let's talk about what's happening with the current economic fundamentals of each currency. Because always remember, that comes first in technical analysis. Technical analysis is always the last piece. It is never the first piece. This is why a lot of people who quote unquote trade Forex needs bots and algorithms and 50,000 indicators, okay? Because really, anybody who uses a bot or algorithm or they have more indicators and chart on their actual chart, they don't really know what they're doing. Okay, you come here, we'll show you exactly what to do. All right, so let's break down what's happening with the Aussie USD, starting with the Aussie. Okay, now the Australian dollar has been one of our stronger currencies since January. Okay, it's been steadily going up, gaining strength, gaining strength, especially against the USD. Okay, so the Aussie has been one of our stronger currencies, and we did start out the week with some very strong Aussie news, but throughout the latter part of the week. We did get some very poor economic. We did get some very poor negative Australian news come out that made it very high impact because at first it was looking like it was at first they thought it was going to be higher than it was previously, but it actually came out lower than it was previously and lower than what they predicted it was going to be, even though they predicted it was going to be higher. So that actually became very, very, very high impact. Okay. So with that being said, right, with that being said, the Australian dollar started to lose strength and started to become much weaker than what it currently at the current pace that it was because it was in the process of becoming weaker due to overall inflation that's affecting the Australian economy and the high gas prices that's starting to affect the Australian economy as well. They have been doing a good job of keeping this stuff cartel in control, but now it's because of geopolitical events around the world, it's starting to spiral outside of its control. So now it's going to start to take a negative effect on the entire economy as well. And with the catalyst of this very poor economic news that they thought was actually going to come out much better, than it actually came out worse than it was previously and worse than what they predicted it was going to be. That also started to catalyze its weakening too, and started to actually make it one of our weaker currencies throughout the mid part to latter part of this trading week. Okay. Now, when the Australian interest rate came out, we did see a surge in the strength of it. But then since then, we've just been seeing a drop in the Australian strength going to complete weakness heading in this part of the latter part of this trading week. And it's going to be one of our weaker currencies going into the next trading week. Okay. So that's currently what's happening with the Australian dollar. Okay. Now with the US dollar, we do have a lot of different things going on with the US dollar. We had very good economic news come out about the US dollar, we did have some negative news, but we have more positive news than negative news come out about the US dollar, and that positive news overshadowed the negative news. We did have some very high impact news come out about the US dollar, prior to the opening of the New York session Thursday around 8:30 Eastern time. The initial jobless claims came out very positive. And on top of that, we also have a drop in gas prices at the pump due to an increase in circulation of the world, due to an increase of circulating oil around the world. And as long as gas continues to drop, we're going to see more money being available in consumer pockets. More money available in consumer pockets means that there's going to be more money getting spent in the stores. More money getting spent in the stores means that there's going to be a growing of the American economy, because there's more money coming into the economy. Growing of the American economy means the strengthening of the U.S. dollar. Okay, so as long as the current economic indicators hold as they are, and oil continues to drop in price or stagnate, we're going to continue to see a strengthening of the U.S. dollar. Okay, so with all that said, now let us discuss what's happening on the chart. Okay, so as we can see here, right, we started out the week ranging, right, ranging. Then, as I said, around Tuesday, right, Monday, I think it was Monday evening to Tuesday morning, we did see a drastic pickup in price, and this is related to the interest rate that came out. Aussie had the interest rate was 10%. They predicted it was going to be 10%, and it was 10% previously. Okay. So they caused it to have a surge up in price, but then ever since then, we've been going down, more so looking like we're going to go down and continue to go up. Because as I said it in previous videos, you don't really want to buy things at all-time highs. Okay. Reason why this green bar is here, because there is some buyers that brought this, and these poor devils either had their accounts crash or their trades hit their stop loss as price continued to go down. Okay, last time price was even this high. Let's look at this. Last time price was even this high was June of 2021. Okay, so we're looking at almost about 8 to 9 months ago. That's what the last time prices was this high. So we were destined to fall at some time. Now that fall has started. Okay. So as we can see, we're having slowly the beginnings with this price turnover. We had a very aggressive push down. Okay, so what we may see for the short to intermediate time is a push up, where we may get to this area here, or even as high as here, before we continue to go back towards the short side. Okay, now once again, we could get to this area here, range out, come down. This area here, range out, come down, or this area here, range out, comes down. But if we start to get more negative news about the Australian dollar, and we start to see Australia, the inflation growing around the Australian economy increases, and we start to get more positive news about the USD and our inflation decreases, which means the strengthening of the US dollar, we're going to see more high momentum violet pushes towards the short side, and more pathetic pushes up towards the long side, which is going to be a heavy indicator of price turnover. Okay, but that's more for the long term. For the short term period, we are going to be doing some buying. This buying is going to be retracement. We could get as high as here, possibly here, before we get to going back down. But really, we may get as high as here before we truly start to turn back over and head back towards the short side. Okay, with this area here, or this area here, or this general area here be the new target area for the short side before we start to see a push up in price again. Okay, I hope that information was helpful for you guys. Happy trading.